Alright guys, so we are in my kitchen. I'm just going to kind of pan around and show you guys a few things. We have gotten some new appliances. My son has been very into baking, so we got a stand mixer. I need to find a place for that. When we moved in, I just kind of got everything put away, but I've got things that aren't really functioning for me. I've got a whole drawer for pot holders, okay? But then over here, I have a drawer that is maxed out on knives and utensils, okay? I've also got a lot of utensils here on the counter, and I don't necessarily like that. I've also got a drawer that's kind of a baking drawer, kind of just a mess, not super functional. So I've got that to deal with. And then, let's see, down here, this is just kind of a hodgepodge. So basically, I've just got a lot of things that aren't really working for me and functioning as well as they can. So I am going to give you the befores, and then sometime later I will be back and give you the afters. I'm not going to take you along with me as I go through it. It's going to be a messy process. My kids are home. We're kind of working on a lot of other things, and so I'm kind of just going to be doing this in between other things. So I just wanted you to know why I wasn't going to just film the process. I'm not going to just take a couple hours and just do this. It's going to be done over time, but I'm going to give you befores of all the cabinets and drawers, and then we'll see what actually gets, you know, reworked so that this can function a little bit better for us. So it is now actually a couple days later. I spent kind of a lot of time just doing this in little pockets of time. I did not do this all at once. So just throughout the day, as I had little pockets of time, one evening I had a little pocket of time. And so that's how I worked on this. So don't think that if you don't have any big chunks of time that you can't organize and purge and things like that, because you totally can. You just have to take advantage of your little minutes. All right, so like I said earlier, this is just one of those things where when we moved into this house, I put everything away where it seemed logical, but as we've lived here for a little while, I felt like I needed to kind of redefine a few of my zones and make them an actual zone instead of just where things fit the best, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna take you through all these cabinets and show you how everything turned out. There's a few of them that didn't change, and that's okay, but then there are a few that changed quite a bit, and it's really making things feel a lot more functional. Okay, so this is just our cabinet that has like drinking glasses and coffee things in it. It really didn't change. This cabinet that has our plates and bowls and stuff, it's not a lot different. I did purge some things. I had some extra plates right here. I'll show you kind of everything that I purged at the very end. And then I had an empty spot up here, so I put some styrofoam. My son has started making cake pops and things, and he needs that for that, and it just fits, so that's where we put it. All right, so this cabinet really isn't a lot different. I had already changed a couple of things before I started this video. These Pyrex dishes used to be on the very top. My son is the one that usually empties the dishwasher, and it was really hard for him to put them away on the top shelf. And we really use them a lot more than the items up there, so I simply moved those down and just kind of tweaked a few things. The cabinet above the microwave is exactly the same. We kind of don't really use it. All right, so this cabinet is one that really changed a lot. One thing that I really wanted to do is make it so that like our vitamins and protein shakes and things like that were a lot more accessible. Some of them were in the pantry, some of them were up here on top. So the main thing that I did is I moved a few of these things to the pantry because they weren't actually baking items. So things like rice, grits, cream of wheat, I was able to move that to the pantry. And then I just moved our flour and sugar up, and then I had a nice spot for vitamins, protein powders, stuff like that. The rest of this just kind of needed a little bit of a tidy. All of this got moved down. That flour right here, that is almond flour, and it was in the pantry, and I was able to make it work here. So again, I was really just trying to make things zone specific. Okay, so I think this might be my new favorite one. This is, and I actually really need to clean my stainless, so we're gonna ignore that. But up here, this cabinet had just a lot of just extra like dishes and canisters and things that I wasn't really using, so I kind of either found a place for it or got rid of it. And now I'm using this for my overflow. So overflow condiments and things like that. I mean, I've even got Clorox wipes. Those are just overflow. So just overflow. So now when we're running low on things in the pantry, we check here first. If it's not here, it goes on the grocery list. All right, so I'm gonna show you the pantry real quick. So I've really been working towards making sure that everything in the door is just very light. So I moved a few things around. You'll see that now this kind of makes a little more sense. A lot of this stuff up here is extra breakfast items. We don't really use those things all that frequently. Down here on this shelf, this is really more dinner ideas, like things that we use for dinner. So we've got like pastas, rices, and then some canned goods over here. And you can tell I need to go to the grocery store. Down here, this is really just for snacks and things. And then right here, I've got a Lazy Susan that has some staples on it. These things will not fit in my spice cabinet because of height. And I mean, I could adjust the shelves, but then it would throw everything else off. So it just made more sense to have some of this stuff here, but things like honey and syrup, peanut butter, we use these things a lot. The rest of them we don't really, because these are actually extras. Like I have a bottle that we put olive oil in, so this is just the extra. And then the rest of these things we don't use that often. And then nothing else down here really changed. All right, so this drawer really didn't change. It actually works pretty well for us. This drawer didn't change. It also works really well for us. Just have light things together. Paper plates, napkins, plastic silverware to put in my husband's lunch bag, and then baggies and things like that. All right, so this drawer actually feels like the biggest change. I rotated the silverware and made room for all of these little dividers right here. And now I am not struggling to get to these serving pieces and straws and all of that. I was able to make room for the can opener, and then we still have room to put these little tongs and things. And so we are still trying to get used to putting silverware in the other direction, but organization wise, this drawer feels a lot better now. All right, so you may remember that I had a drawer full of just hot pads, which was ridiculous. So I was able to move like little clips and stuff in here. We've got our scale. This is just toothpicks. And I've got some extra lids back here. Now I feel like this drawer doesn't have nearly as much wasted space. All right, so these drawers I'm pretty happy with. This one didn't really change a whole lot. This is mostly like knives, kind of sharp objects. We've got our ice cream scoop and then a few utensils that are just kind of awkward, but we still use regularly. I put those there. And then now we actually have an actual baking drawer. So like our rolling pin and our pastry mat, it was just in the bottom of a cabinet, so it was hard to get to. I've got this that's got things that are not used super frequently, but definitely used, you know, when we're doing some baking. And then I got all of our spatulas in here. So spatulas and measuring spoons. And by doing that, I was able to get down to just one crock to put my most used utensils in. And I feel like it just looks a lot cleaner on my counter. All right, so down here, this is not a lot different. I did get rid of an organizer that was there. And then this fry basket, and then my big, I can't even think of what the red pot is called right this second. Anyway, they were in a different place, but they really did need to be over here because this is where all of my pots and pans are. And like I said, I was really working to make zones, so that's working really well. Over here, this did change a little bit, not a whole lot. I've got a better organizer here. This one, the little spaces are smaller, so things stand up better, which is really nice. We've got mixing bowls, salad spinner, stuff like that. The things we use the most are where we can get to them quickly. And then we've got pizza pans on top of our electric skillet because those pizza pans will not fit anywhere. Actually, they're not pizza pans, they're baking sheets. And then just a hand mixer, and then some extra Tupperware that we only use kind of when we baked some things and need somewhere to put them. So all of this is working pretty well. Down here, this is the cabinet that changed quite a bit and really is what kind of got me on a roll with this. I now have a cabinet for small appliances. So I moved the blender, coffee pot in here. We don't use the coffee pot that much. All of my crock pots are up here. I was able to make room for our stand mixer. And then I've got a couple little things in the back. And then I do actually have a few serving pieces in here that we don't really use that often, but there was empty space, so it just made sense to put them there. And so this is working out great. All right, so this last cabinet is really kind of a hodgepodge, but it still definitely works. Everything in here is just kind of bulky. So my overflow of like parchment paper, wax paper, I don't use these as often as the others. And then some of these are just extras. So those are there. Those aluminum pans we use a lot for grilling and things like that. We've got some big kind of coolers that are a little bit bulky in the back. We don't get to those very often, but we take them when we're on the boat and things like that. And then up here, I've got pitchers. Those are mostly there because that is where they fit. The height, because of the height, they really just didn't fit anywhere else. And then down here, we've kind of got another little bit, we've got a little bit of a baking station again. We've got my cake plate, truffle bowl, sifter. In the very back, we've got a basket that's got baking things in it. It's got like sprinkles, chocolate chips, decorating bags, lots of things like that. So all of that is in that basket, and then we can just pull it out when we need it. All right, so that's just one of those projects that feels really good to get done. I've kind of just put it off, but just breaking it up and doing a little bit at a time made it not that big of a deal. All right, I'm getting ready to head to Sam's because I need to get some groceries, and then I'll come home and get that stuff put away. I'll give you a grocery haul just from Sam's. I'm not going to Walmart today. But first, I want to show you the things that I pulled out of my cabinet that are not going back. Some of them are going to be sold and some of them are going to be donated. Actually, I've got the 4 teacups that go with these Blue Willow plates. So those I'm actually going to be selling as a set. I've got the 4 teacups, and then I also have these bigger mugs. So those are getting sold. Now I enjoy this stuff, but I haven't used it. I've given up my dream of having a china cabinet. It's not going to happen in this house. It didn't happen in the last house. So I've just decided that if I ever get a china cabinet, I will hunt these things down again. All right, so these little saucers, they go with the plates that we use. These actually came from my husband's grandmother, but I got rid of all of the cups, and so we don't really need these plates. They sit in there, never used, taking up room. And then these are just 2 random white plates that don't really go with anything, so I'm gonna let those go. The rest of this stuff kind of looks like a mess. This is an organizer that really wasn't quite right. I've got some chopsticks that we never use. Got a fruit basket that I just don't like the way it looks on the counter in this kitchen. So now I pretty much just use a bowl. Got a couple of little jars that we just don't need. So I'm getting rid of those. I also found, like, it goes to a battery something, and it was just in the bottom of the cabinet. I really think it was there when we moved in and I just missed it because I have no idea what it would have come off of. We have an extra egg separator, and this one's kind of cheap and flimsy, so I got rid of that one. We had some little decorator things from Pampered Chef that I've had for years. I don't like them. I've never really liked them, and we've gotten something better since then. And then I've got the base of a butter dish with no lid. So all of those things are leaving my kitchen. So now you can see that for September, I am checking off donate or throw away 25 items. This is actually not even all that I've gotten rid of, but I have definitely hit 25 at this point. All right, guys, so something else I want to share with you. You know, I have been talking about the planner from the Passionate Penny Pincher. She also has a nice selection of meal plans that you can purchase. Now, most of the meal plans she has in a really nice box set. It's the box, and then it's got really nice cards in there. They're all color coded. They're in there by week, and then some of them she has just the PDF version. I think the only one that's just the PDF version is the lunch version. So recently I ordered some more to try. I have her Croctober series that was a PDF version. I don't know if it's exactly the same as the slow cooker series, but anyway, I have the Croctober series 1 and 2, volume 1 and 2. And then I decided to purchase the lunch series and the freezer series. Now again, the lunch series is just a PDF, but I have been struggling lately, like really struggling with coming up with lunch ideas. My husband packs a lunch every day. We homeschool, so we are here and have some form of lunch every day. And it has really gotten to where it is just a straight up sandwich, which is super boring. And I know we can do better than that. So I decided to purchase this series, and I'm really excited about it because I already feel like my family is going to be so excited that they have something to eat other than just a regular sandwich. So what I have decided to do, first of all, I ordered a really cute binder to put all of this stuff in, but I'm only just printing out like a week at a time because I can't really use more than a week's worth at a time. So this is the lunch series, and then when you get it, it's got the table of contents, so you can see there are 6 weeks of meals for your lunches. There are 5 lunches and 1 easy dessert. And then I can't really show you all of this, but basically you get a grocery list for the whole week, and then you also get a page that has the recipe on it. On the lunch thing, we're gonna do week 5 first. I am not going to totally change, like I'm not gonna start making lunch 5 days a week. We're still gonna have some sandwiches, but I thought I would start with maybe trying 2 or 3 meals a week that we can incorporate to the lunch. One of them though, one of the meals that is on the lunch menu is a Panera Bread copycat macaroni and cheese recipe. We are actually having that with dinner tonight. So these menus and recipes are super versatile. So if you struggle with meal planning, if you struggle with coming up with recipes, this is a good option, something that you may want to check out. I do have an affiliate link down below, so if it's something you're interested in, I definitely appreciate you using my affiliate link. The really cool thing is when you sit down to meal plan, she has the meals, there's a dessert, and the grocery list for everything on that list. So if you're in a hurry, it's super easy to make a grocery list. Put it into your Walmart order online or however it is that you order groceries, and it will save you a lot of time. So I just want to throw that out there. All right, so quick Sam's haul. I got some Moondrop grapes. They've been doing a deal on grapes where when you do, I just realized my nails match. When you do the self-checkout, you get like $1 off, which is pretty cool. Milk. My kids have really been into this Laughing Cow cheese lately. Hamburger buns. And then Hawaiian rolls. We use those for sandwiches. Pita bread. I've got a couple of lunches we're going to use those for. I got some drumsticks and chicken thighs. Those will be grilled. A lot of them will be frozen. tortilla chips, 2 rotisserie chickens, and Frosted Flakes. So not very much from Sam's Club this time. Just a few staple items. All right, so we are going to switch gears real quick and talk about stainless steel. Now, I just showed you the 2 products that I have been using on my stainless. I've kind of been experimenting a little bit. Right now, I am showing you the befores. You can see I've got lots of fingerprints, lots of drips and different things on the front of my stainless, and so I need to clean it today. So the way that I have been experimenting is, to begin with, I was using the Wyman product that you just spray on there and then wiping it off with a paper towel. I was doing this about once a week, and then I felt like every time I had a drip of some kind that it was like very, very noticeable. So I kind of switched and started using my e-cloth. So you see right here, I've got my e-cloth. I got it wet. This specific one is for stainless. It's got kind of a scrubby side on one side and then a smoother side on the other, and then I wipe it down with a polishing cloth to kind of dry it and get rid of any smudges. It doesn't leave any streaks. And so I'm finding that I feel like it's cleans better when I just use the e-cloth. Now, it gets rid of the fingerprints, it gets rid of all the things, but it's not necessarily like super shiny, where when you use the Wyman product, it's obviously going to be really shiny. But then I feel like because of the residue that it leaves behind, I feel like fingerprints and drips and things are way more pronounced. So for those of you that have stainless appliances, how do you care for them? Have you ever experimented with using a product that's kind of more of a polisher that kind of leaves a shine? And have you ever used a product that just gets rid of the smudges and actually leaves it just nice and clean? So I've been getting a lot of questions about this, like what do I use to clean my stainless? And so this is what I've been doing. And here lately, like I said, I've really been gravitating towards the e-cloth because I feel like when I do get smudges and things, they're not as pronounced. But I also don't know, does the stainless need the other stuff to kind of like for maintenance? Is it something that is necessary for stainless? This is the first house, well, the second house we've lived in the last 2 years that has had stainless, and I don't feel like all stainless is created equal. I believe that this stainless, like the grade of it, is a lot nicer than the appliances that we had before. So I kind of feel like I don't really know the answer. So what do you guys use and really like? Alright, so now that I am done, you can see that my appliances look really great. There are no smudges, there are no fingerprints, really, like, they are super clean. And they're not dull, but they're not like shiny because of like the residue. The Wyman, it works great, but it definitely leaves a residue. And like I said, I'm just not sure if that's something that is good for stainless. You know, I don't know, like, is it something that it needs? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel so much when you do that for me. If you're new and not already subscribed, please consider subscribing down below, and I will see you guys soon.